on, just be yourself. If people don't like it, if you're being yourself, fuck them.
It's Big Los, and welcome to another episode of The Noize. I know y'all didn't hear the usual monotone Hollywood Kev coming after my name.
Not today.
But Kev is not going to be in today. He'll for sure be back next week. If he wants to talk to y'all about it next week, he most certainly can, because I for sure need to hear the story as well. But filling in for Hollywood Kev, I have one of my best friends. And when I say best friends, I'm talking about 13 years I've known this individual.
Day one.
There's a lot of cats you don't really know after that first, second year of just, you know what I'm saying, some solid fun, some good times, and then it just poof, disappears. You know what I mean? This is somebody that's come from the soil with me. Like the last 13 years we've been grinding.
Grounded.
He's another UTC VP. He is my right-hand man. Lyrically one of the best niggas to come out of Vegas, born and bred in Sin City. It's so much I can say about this dude that would take this show to a whole nother level. This is my brother. This is one of my best friends. Ladies and gentlemen, the ear hustlers of the Noize, welcome Nitty G.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to be here with the people, standing in for my man Kev, man.
Yes, sir.
Again,
yes, sir.
man, he couldn't be here, but I could not leave the boy Los hanging solo. You
and
know
I
this.
appreciate that.
You know this.
I appreciate it. This is the second time Kev wasn't able to make a show, and I just filled in with a UTC cat.
Hey, that's what we here for, bro. That's what we here for.
Man, what's been up, Brody?
Man, making music, bro. A lot of writing, trying to get this EP done.
I feel it.
White Lies and Blue Dreams, man. So
that's the title?
That's the
Those
title.
are good colors as well, by the way.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you. You feel me? So
Yes,
we're
sir.
going to have the whole package deal. You feel me? We're going to have the colored tees coming out.
Okay.
With the logo. We getting the colored hoodies. We might put out a blue mic with it for sponsorship.
That's dope.
Who knows?
You know,
Who knows?
Real quick, something slight.
You feel me? But that's a cool little concept piece, man. So, you know.
How many
living.
tracks you trying to do on that?
We doing 7.
7, really?
We're doing 7.
Now,
that's counting like intro skit, though.
Now, just to kind of give y'all some background about me and Nitty, outside of what I said in the intro, I first met this dude in theater class back at Mojave High School, back when it was Mojave College Preparatory Academy.
What is it now?
It is a secondary school. This is where niggas go. Is like their last chance before op or prison.
Wow. So this is like the Desert Rose now.
Basically, at the end of the day, we may have Desert Rose beat low key. I know they're technically op, but Mojave may have Desert Rose beat. Last time I went there, cats had on ankle bracelets and was flaunting it like, yo, this is jewelry.
Well, I recall that even back in 2006. But yeah, no,
Very
I feel
true.
you.
Very
I feel
true.
you on
Very
that.
true. Very
I
true.
hate to see it go down like that, man.
Yeah, it plummeted something serious. But so I met this dude back in high school, theater class. We was always in there goofing around, doing the usual, you know what I mean? Just being us, I guess you could say.
That's it. Us, Jay.
He came in and he was the other rapper that was doing more than what I was doing at the time.
This guy's too kind.
He came in, he had, that was me just coming out the gates, maybe doing 1 or 2 singles here. He came in with a whole fucking tape.
But you had, truth, but Los had the business right. Los already had the business right.
Well, I appreciate that.
I'm jacking for beats.
You had the material. And I'm talking about 15 years old. Damn, that's right?
Stupid.
14, 15 years old with a 19 song mixtape of just the gas. So we
just because
we linked up and we were going to re-release that. We were going to clean it up, re-release it. He was like, no, let me re-record it. I'm like, the whole thing?
The whole lot.
You know what I'm saying? He left some of the tracks from the original, added some flame, and then we re-released Minor Problem, got spins, but we started doing these shows. It was a good time. And if there's anybody I appreciate coming on this show and filling in for the boy Kev, is definitely you, man.
I appreciate that, my G.
You know, this
because you could have caught a lot of niggas. You feel
a lot of cats.
But I appreciate you calling your boy, man.
Most definitely.
And Los underplays his lyrical ability at the time. He's downplaying it. You feel me? Los was the cat that was like, I had a cool little mixtape. I'm looking at this nigga Los like, I gotta step my bars up.
Nah, but that's how I looked at you. I'm like, okay, so you want to come because you were taking up all the attention. You had all the Bettys that was in the class at the time. It was like, oh, okay, little light skin with braids. You dreaded up now, but at the time you had the early Trey songs.
You feel me? But the dreads ain't it. You feel me? The braids went out. The dreads came in. You feel me?
That
So
became the
move
new
with the
look.
way.
That became the new look. I feel it. So I had to catch up with your ass. So that's basically what it was. But yeah, man, this is my peoples, and we definitely gonna have a good show. Moving on to, of course, our favorite subject. Hip-hop. Yes, sir. Before we get into the general discussion that we wanted to have, and as, of course, one of his biggest fans, I got to give shouts out to Kung Fu Kenny, K. Cornrow Kenny.
Good looking, Kenny.
Kendrick Lamar.
You did your thing, boy.
Platinum in 3 weeks, bro. That's unheard of in today's hip-hop generation.
It's a big deal. And on that, right, I want to instigate a tad bit.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. You remember he dropped the control verse.
Right.
The world stopped for a day, right?
I'll get about 3 days.
Fact. I remember Drake said, they were asking Drake about it. Drake tried to play it smooth, and he said some slick stuff like, yo, Kendrick isn't killing me on any platform. When he is, we'll revisit that issue. I'd like to say, ladies and gentlemen, More Life came out this year. As did Damn. And Damn broke the first week record for 2017.
603,000 copies in the first week. He knocked Drake off the number one because he was, don't get me wrong, when Drake drops, he's number one until somebody comes out with another number one.
Absolutely.
And 9 times out of 10 is Beyonce or Rihanna.
Yes.
But
the competition with Drake's competition is slim.
It's very slim. But first week, he knocked Drake out the number one spot, did 603,000. He damn near could have done the million in the first week.
You see what I'm saying? I don't know how many.
I think the only reason he didn't, my bad to cut you off, Brody, but I think the only reason he didn't do it is because of the controversy behind Humble.
Yeah, that blew me away, right? Because sometimes controversy will give you push.
Creates cash, definitely.
Right? But I think the people who are mad about Humble kind of tends to be Kendrick Lamar fans generally. Like those people tend to get his music.
Right.
So it hurt more than anything. I'm not going to lie. I'm still slightly confused about the outrage.
Yeah, me too.
And I've got butchered about that.
You too.
It's strange.
You know, I've had and I have this thing where, because a lot of people that are actually pissed off about it are black feminists, and I have nothing against black feminists. I have nothing against womanists.
Love them.
I agree with the movement. You know what I mean? But in this situation, this was one of those searching to be upset situations. Because when you listen to it, I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Photoshop. Show me something natural like Afro on Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
obviously, I listen to the song a lot. And matter of fact, in the follow-up line,
yes,
there's an entire article saying why Kendrick should be dragged. And she ends the article by saying, even though I agree, I want to see more ass with stretch marks. You cannot contradict your argument by agreeing with what Kendrick is saying.
This is the issue, bro. I want to say, first off, I know the situation. I'm very aware of the climate, right? We're two males discussing the views of women.
Quote policing.
Exactly.
Which we're going to get buried for this,
absolutely,
by the way, as long as you're prepared for that.
I'm aware of the climate, right? I know it's a touchy subject, and I understand the frustration. My concern is I saw two problems. There are two groups of people here. There's the first group, right, who did not think the girl in the video was dark enough, right? That's one thing.
I know where you're going.
The second is that Kendrick was policing women's bodies. So here's my thing. One, on Kendrick policing women's bodies, what I hear about feminists, because I consider myself a feminist, right? I don't,
by the definition of the word, right?
By the definition. So I think that when it comes to women's bodies, what we want to do is we want to empower women and make women feel comfortable in their own skin.
Right.
When I talk to black women, usually their concerns are they are not light enough. They're not the typical standard of beauty. And Kendrick highlights and puts a woman in the video who is not the typical standard of beauty. In my eyes,
He's been doing that for some time.
thank you. In my eyes, that's a W.
Right.
Right? That's an ally. I don't think that a person saying what they like and what they dislike, I don't think that that's necessarily policing women's bodies. If I say I'm scrolling through IG every day and I'm tired of seeing all these chicks with Photoshop, show me something natural like an afro on Richard Pryor, to me, that's not me policing you. That's me stating what I like.
Exactly.
Personally, that's my preference. You don't have to be that. But the problem comes in if you say you want the women who are not the standard of beauty to be upheld and then knock the person down who tries to uphold them. I can't get behind it. And then the other issue, and this is kind of a double-edged sword. If you're saying the chick in the video is not dark enough, is that not in some sense you policing?
Is that not
the
colorism?
same women?
Exactly. Is this not the same? It's the same thing you're going to battle for.
This exact
You
same
don't want
thing.
women policed by their color. You don't want women policed by their clothes. Sometimes it gets to the point where you're picking and choosing your battles. It's a selective anger.
Exactly.
And then let's not forget that these are the same people who were upset when he had that light skinned girl in the For Free poem video,
right.
talking about look how they got her out, just all half naked and all this other stuff. You cared so much when it was a light skinned woman in a bra and panties, and you had her back, but now all of a sudden this chick is too light. Now all of a sudden she doesn't deserve to be defended for being natural.
The consistency isn't there.
It's weird.
The
It's a very
consistency is
weird
not there.
consistency.
And I want to say we're not saying it's like this is all feminist. This is
Not at
like
all.
a subgroup.
Not at all. It's very much so the extreme ones. It's the ones that low key won't have a kid out of fear of having a son. And I wish I was making that up. I've heard these things.
That's deep. That's on a whole nother level.
That's a completely different level, but that's beyond the point.
God.
Kendrick,
Damn.
going platinum. It's heavy, right? Kendrick going platinum in 3 weeks is unheard of in this time in hip hop.
Absolutely.
And that's why I really wanted to highlight it, especially because there is so much conversation. Now, Drake, like I said in the last episode, he is a amazing commercial artist.
No doubt.
He's
No
everything
question.
that he said he wanted to be, which is a pop artist. And somebody actually came at me in the comments on the last episode. So let me just also touch base on that. Kendrick, Cole, Wale when he wants to be, Crit, they're a different caliber of artists. These are the cats that are still trying to breathe as much life as they can into lyricism,
Yes, sir.
and its popularity in
And we
hip-hop.
appreciate it.
And we definitely appreciate it. Catalactica is still my favorite Crit album. 2014 Forest Hills Drive, still my favorite
Play it
Cole
to this
album.
day,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? It's easily in the rotation. No problem whatsoever. But these kind of cats don't see those numbers. You only see numbers like that out of Cole and Kendrick. And you damn sure don't see them in 3 weeks.
Exactly. No, exactly. It's a whole nother audience. It's a whole nother machine.
Nowadays, everybody only cares about the single going platinum. As long as something in regards to the project goes platinum, that's all artists care about.
But I want to say this, though. I think, it really shows to a degree that the work you put in pays off, and
Oh, yeah.
intention is everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times when I hear cats put out these singles and you say the single is everything, a lot of times these are acts that I know aren't gonna put out a solid project.
Right.
They're good. They're here to give me
Singles.
good singles.
But
Good
you know what,
singles.
though? And that's actually a really, really, really good segue into the next subject.
Here we go.
Again, shout out Kung Fu Kenny, platinum in 3 weeks. Artists like Lil Yachty,
Lil Yachty.
who has a platinum plaque
Lil Boat, yeah.
off of features and singles that he's just been dropping here and there.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go over his top 5 first before we go into, obviously what everybody saw on Complex with Joe Budden and
We're
DJ
going over
Academics.
Lil Yachty's top 5?
Yeah,
The rappers?
We're
His favorite?
about to do Lil Yachty's
Okay,
top 5.
here we go.
So his top 5 was
This is a
Chance the
ride.
Rapper, Kanye West, Drake, Andre 3000, and there's a tie for Lil B and Soulja Boy.
Okay.
On that Complex show, what was it? Everyday Struggle.
Yes.
On that, he said that his favorite rapper was Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
Think about this. And it started making perfect sense that I was able to get rid of my old nigga anger. And I can't, and I can no longer say that I don't fuck with him. I just don't respect him. I mean, and I'm gonna explain why. I'm gonna explain why. But he said on Everyday Struggle, my favorite rapper is Soulja Boy.
Yeah. Facts. He said this.
Soulja Boy started the era of the platinum singles.
True.
Crank that.
Truth.
No, everyone was so concerned
Platinum
and hurt.
ringtones.
Exactly, the original ringtone rapper. Everybody was so concerned with their album sales, how their album sucked, and did all this other stuff. No one cared about having that one single. Soulja Boy wasn't supposed to have an album. He had a trending song.
That's it.
And I think they said, what, 3 times platinum?
I think so. 3 or 4.
And ever since then, only concern was the single.
That's it.
If the album don't go platinum, oh well, the single's at least platinum.
Right.
To my point, when it comes down to the Everyday Struggle interview.
I love that show, by the way.
It's a fantastic show. Shout out to Complex. Definitely shout out to Joe Budden, DJ Academics. I'll start with where everybody thinks who I'm going to agree with.
Okay.
But I'm just going to be honest in my opinion. Joe Budden, even though he makes very, 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 very valid statements, his execution is what normally annoys people. And sometimes annoys me.
Facts. Joe Budden could be a little over the top.
A little over
right?
the top, and then get upset when people say he does what Drake does. Like you go over the top, and then you're surprised that people think you're emotional.
Yeah,
you're surprised that people think that you're normally in your feelings, especially after Some Love Lost, All Love Lost, No Love Lost. Like those are 3 emotional ass albums.
Thank you. Here's the thing, like Joe Budden,
Rage
knows
and the
this
Machine
stuff.
was dope though. I don't know
Absolutely.
if you heard that one. Rage and the Machine was raw.
Absolutely.
But continue.
Joe's he's in his feelings. He's sensitive, and he knows this.
Right.
And I don't think Joe strays away from this. He'll tell you, "I'm jaded."
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
And that's the situation. But I think Joe's execution kind of brushes people the wrong way. At the same time,
You missed the message.
Facts. At the same time, that's kind of why you go to Joe Budden.
Very true.
Because you know
that's why he's on the show.
Exactly. Because you know what Joe Budden is gonna do. He's gonna give you one. He's gonna be confrontational.
Right.
Not confrontational, but kind of aggressive, direct, a little over the top. That's what
I would
Budden
definitely
gonna
say confrontational. His approach. That's another thing. I'm cool with his approach. It's just the actual execution of everything that he's doing.
That's it.
It almost discredits everything that you're saying. Like there was some important shit that he was really trying to get Yachty to understand.
No,
and
absolutely.
That kind of goes into the lack of respect or missing of respect that I have for Yachty. Now, if you guys did check it out, one of the many things that was said in the conversation, I guess I'm kind of working backwards. I'm not going to go in order because I don't really have notes on what happened. But one of the things he said was Yachty doesn't know whether or not he's in the 360.
That was insane.
The fact that him, and then he also said that him and his lawyer never even had that conversation, or Coach K. No one had that conversation of what a 360 deal is. So you're opening opportunity to fuck yourself. I understand you came in on $1 million deal. I understand you recouped all that money. I understand you got Target behind you. I understand you got Sprite behind you. Now his business is amazing. When it comes down to business, he's smart. He's hella smart. He's a very intelligent person.
I want to, okay. I'm stuck right there because while I agree with you, I got to say, is his business smart or is he kind of fortunate right now? Because while he has the Target deal, the Sprite deal,
and he has whatever that little design deal with Nautica.
Yeah. At the same time, he's unaware whether or not he's in the 360.
Right. So you are absolutely correct. Let me rephrase that. He is fortunate. He's blessed beyond belief right now.
Absolutely.
He's getting thrown the right, offers to have two big conglomerates behind him.
Does everybody know what a 360 is? Our listeners, are we assuming that they know this?
You're right. We are assuming that they're going
to go over a quick summary. Okay. Usually, like let's say a traditional record deal, right? Back when sales were really jumping, an artist would put out an album, and the record label would give them a percentage of that cut. Now, traditionally, it's a small percentage. We're talking like 12% or lower.
Right. This is back when rappers were getting raped.
Exactly. As music becomes independent and you start having independent labels come out, the percentage gets higher. Right. But now cats aren't making a lot of money from record sales because records aren't really selling. How many records are you buying right now? So
even streaming.
Exactly. So cats come up with a 360. And what the 360 means is the record company gets bread all around. So if shows they're getting a cut, endorsements they're getting a cut, whatever the artist is making revenue from,
whatever money the artist touch, they touch.
They're gonna get a cut. So this works out. Basically, this is how the record label gets money when records aren't selling. It works out for some artists that have a label backing them that are going to put them in a lot of positions to get these extra sources of income outside of music. Think about if a record label was basically playing as your manager. Everything your manager did for you and may happen for you, he would get a cut. Same deal with the record label. However, Yachty does not know
what a 360 deal is,
or if he's in one.
Yeah, see, that to me, that's scary, and that kind of goes back into an argument that I brought to the Noize before, and kind of the argument that I'm bringing up with Yachty with why I don't respect him. I completely understand no one has to sit you down and say, this is the Mount Rushmore of hip hop.
Yes.
These are the professors of hip hop. You know, I could talk all day about his style, how he presents it, because we had Humpty Hump. We had the Digital Underground.
Lying.
You know what
You're
I'm saying?
not lying.
Even before then, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame duo. One half of them is Flavor Flav. So it's not like we haven't had this before. You know what I'm saying?
We had Kwame. We had MC Hammer. We had some
we had
questionable
some ones. So I can't sit back and say it's his style and how he does. I think he's just trash as a rapper. Don't get me wrong.
I think he's garbage. Yeah.
But it's not even. I don't even look at that. I look at the fact that he doesn't have respect for the culture. He's cool with, like Joe Budden said, he's cool with something that took him from not getting girls in college, from, you know what I'm saying, not having money in his pockets. The culture that took him from that to where he is now, he doesn't respect. And in a sense, it's almost like it's almost a double-edged sword, because the same thing that will make a generation, the same thing that millennials are loving about it, that we hate so much as older millennials, is the same thing that our generation is built on. Our generation is built on the revolt. Our generation is built on the rebellion. Yeah, you know, even with what we were just talking about with, you know, we're seeing a huge influx of black women stepping up and saying, yo, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing a huge influx of rap artists saying like, nah, it ain't about what happened back then. It's about what's going on right now. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword. Like, you got the great, you know what I'm saying, revolt for black women. And then you have hip hop artists who don't give a fuck about hip hop.
And this seems to me to be, I don't want to single out hip hop. So correct me if I'm wrong. This seems to me to be an exclusive hip hop problem.
Yeah.
Like when I go to other music genres, I don't see this kind of issue.
No one's talking about that. Me and Kev had that exact same conversation right here on this show. I forgot who the hell it was. It was some country music artist that was performing at the CMTs, and he brought out somebody that's a country music legend. Not saying he sat down and he knew every song from him when he was younger. Not saying he was an avid listener, an avid fan of the dude, but it's recognizing where you came from.
He knows who opened the door for him and paved the way for him to do. To me, I'm kind of where you're at with it, right? I hated Yachty at first. When I first heard about Yachty, I didn't care for a Yachty, a Lil Uzi. I didn't.
We had the old nigga anger,
exactly. But the more I actually listened to what he said, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I said the exact same thing.
If I'm a kid in college and I got nothing, I got no clothes, I got no females, I got no money, and I'm messing around making music, having fun, and this blows for me,
I'm gonna keep having fun.
That's it. That's it. I'm not worried about putting out solid projects. I'm not worried about no concept albums or what y'all think of me lyrically. If that worked for me and that took my family into a whole nother place, if that put me in a whole nother tax bracket, then I'm cool with that. So I can respect Yachty on that front. But it's true. How can you not have appreciation for this idea, this movement that opened the door and changed your life?
Exactly.
How is it possible?
And one way he tried to explain it, this is kind of digging back into the vault, when he had the interview with DJ Self, and he was saying how no one sat him down and no one walked him through it, and he's like, you know, I'm not emotionally connected to Pac and Big, so I make those kind of comments or whatever. You know, when it goes back to that, I said to Kev, that probably made the most sense out of any of these new generation rappers have ever said. That probably made the most sense. However, if you are, no, I'm not even going to try to come up with different examples. I'm going to go exactly with what you said. Why is this only a trend in hip hop?
That's what I don't understand.
If this is how the younger millennials truly feel, why isn't it like that in pop music? Why isn't it like that in country music? Why isn't it like that in rock music? Everybody literally pays homage to those that open the door for him.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Except in hip hop.
Except in hip hop. Even what's her face? I'm drawing a blank because she's like the biggest white girl right now.
Taylor Swift?
No. She knocked off Taylor Swift.
Ooh, who are you talking about?
Adele.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Adele.
Oh yeah.
She even said, what I do is me trying to be Beyonce. Beyonce's my favorite artist.
I can't explain it to you. I honestly can't explain the thinking to you. Okay, maybe this is it. Maybe I feel like this is part of it. It seems like also in hip hop at the same time, not to just throw it on Yachty, it seems like listeners and particularly older acts, I'm not going to lie, there's a sense of resistance.
Very much so.
About artists like this. And I think Joe Budden said it perfect. When he was on Everyday Struggle, he said it clearly. I'm not going to lie. I'm jaded. Right? There's got to be something about you at one point in time either being the man or people saying he's got the potential. That kid, he's going to be the man. And that was Joe Budden. People thought Joe Budden was going to be the man. I thought Joe Budden was going to be the man. It didn't pan out.
Honestly, I never thought Joe was going to be the dude.
I
thought Pump It Up was exactly what it turned out to be. I thought Pump It Up was a forced commercial record that Joe really didn't want to do.
Absolutely.
If he did, and you know what? I just had this conversation with Kev last night too. I'm gonna ask you, if Joe Budden didn't drop every tape that followed the self-titled album, would you have thought he was the person that he is right now? Or would you just thought he was this happy-go-lucky club goer? Because he had Pump It Up in that album, and then he had the verse on Clubbing. If he didn't drop shit else from that, you'd have just thought he was a happy-go-lucky club. Oh, yeah, and of course the verse he did on Fire with Busta. And then he was on another track. Everything was just, you know what I'm saying, let's get turned, let's do this. Would you have thought he was this emotional person, or you would have thought he was a club goer, and then when he became this person, you'd be like, where the fuck this come from?
I definitely wouldn't have thought he was that emotional. But I will say... screw Pump It Up. Pump It Up was whatever. Let me elaborate. What I meant to say was I could hear Pump It Up and I could hear Joe's album and I heard the MC in him.
Right.
I knew.
You knew it was there.
Yeah, I was like, I know this guy could eat rappers. I know this. And I mean, the tapes after that made me get to know him better. But no, I would have had a completely different impression.
Completely different impression.
I would have had a completely different impression of Joe Budden. But I think that it's cats like that who either were the man or thought they had the potential or they had the dream, and they got to sit on the throne or get close to the throne, and time kind of passed, and now it's a new wave that does not care about you or how close you were or how long you sat on the throne. We're doing us now. Because what we do really has nothing to do with you. While it's kind of true in the sense that creatively, what Lil Yachty's doing is so far removed from what anything Joe Budden has done. You can't deny that these older heads paved the way. You didn't get here without them. Maybe you could have in some type of alternate reality, but that's not how it played out.
There wouldn't have been a lane for you without a Flavor Flav.
Oh, bro.
Straight up. There would be no lane for a wacky, weird looking dude in hip hop if Flavor Flav didn't have the success he had with Public Enemy.
This is real.
And let's keep it all the way real. Flav did a couple hooks, and other than that, he was the ad-lib guy.
That's it.
But you don't say
he did less than Lil Jon. Like
he did, but exactly. But they don't say Chuck D and the Public Enemy. They say the Public Enemy. You know what I mean? So he was able to kind of sneak in that way.
Yeah.
He opened the door for cats to just be their true self. And that's another thing. I don't want people to think that I'm against artists being their true self.
Not at all. That's
especially
what an artist does.
If it got you to the game. But it's all about respecting where you come from, even if you don't want to go back and learn.
That's it.
Respect it. The fact that it came out his mouth, even though he said he regrets saying it. I mean, even though he said he shouldn't have said it, when it comes out your mouth that Biggie was overrated, you are now trashing a complete different demographic. Like you're coming at a complete generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You're coming at one of the true hip hop Mount Rushmore cats.
You don't know that this guy is people's hero, bro.
Exactly.
Like people consider this man a legend, and you're you're kind of coming at him.
Right.
Slow your roll, bro. Especially if you haven't heard a Biggie album. Stop it, bro.
Exactly. And another thing I agree with Joe that he said was Ebro asking him to name 5 Tupac songs or was 5 Biggie songs. Which one was it?
I think it was 5 Biggie songs.
Him asking him to do that was trying to get him exposed. I felt like that was being super extra. I'm never going to ask somebody that's 19. Here we are in 2017. It means Cat was born 98.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. He's not going to have this information.
He's not going to. Right, he's not going to know. You know, he's not going to have the answer. Sway.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I completely agree with Joe when it comes down to that. But you don't have to name 5 Biggie, 5 Pac records. But respect where you came from.
Thank you.
Because you're going to get charged up no matter where you go. The only people that ain't going to charge you up is everybody in your generation. And even in that aspect, I understand why he doesn't, because he's winning. He's winning. Cats.
Yeah, you can't deny it, bro. He's definitely got the W. But Yachty's smart. Yachty's done something that people dream of, bro. Mm-hmm. He's figured out a way to do what he loves to do on his own accord.
Right.
When he wants to, his way, and make millions off of it. Mm-hmm. So I can't hate on it. I got to applaud it.
Yeah, like I say it all the time.
You're not the first rapper, and he doesn't even consider himself a rapper. That's a whole nother subject. That irks.
That's another show.
Exactly. But you're not the first rapper to have a deal with a clothing line.
Nope.
Other cats did that and opened that door for you. Mm-hmm. And while he says, he's like, these companies, they're not letting somebody like me in. They kind of are, bro. I get what you're saying. I get the sentiment of what you're saying. But they have been, bro. Jay-Z and P. Diddy were here way before you.
Long time. Luda had Pepsi.
You feel me? LL had Fubu. Like, you're not the first cat to do this. You're not the first cat to have to deal with Sprite.
But see, making stupid comments like that, knowing your history would fix all of that.
Hey, this is true. This is being a rapper who doesn't know hip hop culture.
Makes no sense.
It's kind of like, if I had to compare it to something, it'd probably be like being a president who doesn't understand the Constitution or the history of your country. That would be crazy. Luckily,
or being a president with no political background whatsoever.
But see, we would never have those kind of problems.
It now makes the perfect sense. We got Trump in office. We got artists who don't give a damn about hip hop. God damn it, this is the generation.
Nobody really gives a damn about anything.
It's not
anymore.
about what happened back then.
No, it's all about looking ahead, people.
No,
it's all about looking ahead.
You know what's funny? Artists like this aren't even looking ahead. That's why when he asked him, he said, I'm not worried about Lil Yachty at 19. I'm worried about Lil Yachty 25, 26, 27. Mm-hmm. They don't care about what's ahead. They care about right now.
I'll say this to Yachty's defense on that. The thing is, I get what he's saying when he said he doesn't really know what he wants from hip hop or where he's going to be at 27. But as long as you stay consistent, to me that's the key. Have a work ethic and be consistent, which that I can say Lil Yachty has.
Definitely.
As long as he continues to do that, and just wise up on the business end. He is 19. You got time to wise up. And I feel like he's learning, bro. Honestly, from the Ebro interview to now, I feel like he is picking up on some things that he's been going left on.
He's getting it. He's getting it, just not the way he needs to.
I feel you. But as long as he stays consistent in the work ethic, when 25, 26, 27 comes around, Yachty will be good.
I think when 25, 26, 27 come around, Yachty won't be around.
You don't think so?
Because again, dude, I feel how I feel about this generation of hip hop because of the lack of knowing where you're coming from, so you know where you can go. I feel like all the rappers that have longevity learn from the mistakes of the rappers who were in and out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If we rolled down the fucking list of rappers that are one-hit wonders, but that one hit put them on.
Telling you.
If you rolled out that list, bruh, it would still be rolling right now, even after the MTV Video TV Awards.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
On this day here, Sunday. But if you don't know what happened before you, you're not going to know whether or not you're in a 360 deal.
Why do you not know this, Yachty? What is going on?
It's just, and I remember I had this conversation with my roommate in grad school, and he was saying he agreed, like, why do rappers need to go back? you know, and listen to old rappers? Why do rappers need to give so much respect to Pac and Big, stuff like that? Again, I'm not saying this is something that you absolutely have to do.
Not at all.
You know, I can't speak on something. You know, I said it before. I understand who KRS-One is. I understand who KRS-One was to the hip hop industry. But I can also say I've never liked a single KRS-One album.
It's understandable, people.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like
understandable.
we get it.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between knowing who somebody is and still not really, you know, fucking with them, and just not knowing shit about it at all.
Yeah, no, it's completely different. It's completely different things. I don't need you to know Tupac's catalog.
Exactly.
You know,
some people from the generation don't know Tupac's catalog.
Thank you. You know what I mean? But know the man is worth the general idea.
Right.
Know what he contributed to the game. And what milestones he set for hip hop, bro. It's a lot of cats who, hip hop cats weren't, not cats like Tupac at the time, weren't getting Hollywood deals like that.
Right.
That shit wasn't happening.
Wasn't happening, exactly. LL low-key picked up on that after Pac. And now he's now truly between him. No, you know what? If you go in order, it would be Will Smith, then Pac, then LL.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
So it's like
Big Willie style.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, just as being, you know, being that you and I are hip hop aficionados, it's about to sound so weird saying this. I don't think people truly understand how important to hip hop Will Smith was.
Thank you, bro. Okay, but this goes back to now. Are you saying people that are as old as us? Or are you saying the new generation of Lil Yachty fans?
You already know when I'm talking. If I'm going back, I'm not even talking to these new niggas whatsoever. But and what I mean by that, I'm sure somebody from our generation is like, this nigga's wild, and now he's going too far. People don't think about the fact that every album Will Smith has put out, even up to his last one, Lost and Found, has done something. Every album that he had, up to Willennium, I want to say, was platinum.
Bro,
Willennium was gold. What came after that?
Don't ask me. Do not ask.
But everything after that was gold. Even his last album was gold. I'm like, he put up numbers. He was the first artist to get, you know, even though, you know, they protested it, and rightly so. He was the first artist to win a Grammy in hip hop.
Yeah.
He ushered that in, and now we got Eminem winning Oscars. We got 3 6 Mafia winning Oscars.
Tell me about it, bro. Who'd have thought you'd have seen the day?
The day, we have to say, Academy Award winner Juicy J. He still prints that on the front of his albums.
That's juice. But now he's got the juice.
Now he's really got the juice. It's too much sauce, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But that makes you think. Knowing your history.
Yes.
That's never going to mean shit to somebody who doesn't give a fuck about what happened before he got here.
Oh, my God, bro. Okay, on Yachty, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of what I want to know. How do you respond to Joe Budden kind of going at him about the happy deal? Because I saw people were killing Joe Budden with the memes because they said Joe Budden was savagely upset that Lil Yachty said that he was happy all the time.
Because Joe Budden isn't happy.
Joe
Budden's never. I think if you could truly go with somebody that you look at his smile and you be like, ain't nothing behind that smile but anger, you're looking at Joe Budden. Exactly.
That's Joe Budden. No. I feel like when Joe Budden is smiling, he's probably strangling you in his mind.
In his head, right.
But you're not losing
just hitting you
air.
in your chest over and over.
You're not losing air. You're losing success. Right. You're losing. He's strangling the happiness right out of you.
Low key, Joe Budden, I think when he's looking at you like that, he's on his Shang Tsung. He thinks he's taking your success like your soul, and he's just feeding into himself. I think that's what's...
It's
you know
giving
what?
him energy.
How do we not know that's what's going on, though? Because think about it. Joe Budden ain't had a hit record in forever, but he's probably been the most irrelevant niggas for like the last decade.
How's this possible, bro?
He's Shang Tsung, bro.
Joe Budden finds a way to hop into beef, don't he? Like, he finds a way to position himself.
He just sneaks his way in, like,
Joe Budden creeps into beef. Game is the same way, even though Game gives me bars. Now, Joe Budden doesn't give me bars, but Game will give you a hot song.
He'll give you a hot song. I'm about to be like, so what does Joe do?
No, yeah, I didn't mean to say it like that, Joe. I didn't mean to say it like that. No, it's real talk. This is my thing, though, with a cat like Joe. Sitting Joe Budden down and having Joe Budden critique Lil Yachty is like... I'm trying to find a good comparison here. It's like
Joe Budden sitting down critiquing Lil Yachty. That's probably the best one you could get.
It's like a vegan critiquing a steakhouse. Like it doesn't really add up. Like
that is a better one.
The shit I'm cooking up is not for you, fam.
You're not gonna like it.
This is not on your
put on
diet.
your plate that you're gonna like whatsoever.
Thank you. But I mean, we talk about it because it's entertainment and we got to talk about it.
Of course.
And Lil Yachty is, when people talk about the new generation and mumble rappers, even though I don't really know if I feel comfortable calling Yachty a mumble rapper. I understand a lot more what Yachty says
than everybody else,
peers. Yeah.
Especially Kodak.
Kodak's locked up right now. When does Kodak get out?
I think I just saw something. He's supposed to be out sometime next month.
Kodak has
I think people like to correct me on here a lot. I think
Kodak has an adult living class or something like that he has, like an independence class he has to take or something like that. And it's a 30-day class. If he finishes it, he's out of there in 30 days. Is he gonna finish it? Is the part that I'm concerned
because
about.
he just got caught with the shank.
And then he had the thing with an anger management where he kept burping or something like that. He won't stop burping or something like that. So this could go left. But
real quick,
potentially this is a good exit for Kodak Black because this could have went a completely different way.
Completely. Now let me ask you, and I said this on the show before, and I'm gonna grit and bear it just so I can formulate an opinion. Are you gonna listen to that Yachty album when it drops, the Teenage Emotions joint?
I am going to listen to the Lil Yachty album because I'm coming back to do the nitty gritty. So we're reviewing
my nigga, exactly
everything hip hop, even if they don't want to consider themselves hip hop. If you're rapping, you're going to get critiqued.
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
if you don't want to consider yourself hip hop, just stop rapping. But
so I guess it is something else we could just break to the people. Nitty G, not only is he a Touchable Click member, founder, Firestarter, he is also Beat Network. The Nitty Gritty is another show that's going to be coming to you. That's going to be coming to the YouTube channel. Coming back to the YouTube channel.
The one that I did was Lil Yachty.
Funny
Summer
enough.
songs too, yeah.
Very true.
Enough.
So this is your guy, apparently.
This is my dude, man. This is my guy, Yachty. And to be fair, I crapped all over that album when I did the review. But one thing I did say though is I see Yachty's potential as a songwriter. I like when he does his harmonizing, his melodic stuff. The lyrics aren't the dopest, but here's the thing though. If you've got the rhythm that's going to catch people, the words can be worked on. And at that point, once you have the ability to craft a song that it doesn't have to be number one, even though Yachty's songs or the songs that he features on do chart.
Yeah, easy. And they do numbers. That.
And so once you figure that out, you don't even have to be the star anymore. So I mean, I said it then, I say it again. As long as Yachty keeps that up and fine tunes that, he's in a good place. Even if he himself stops putting out, songs that do numbers.
Honestly,
talk to me.
I'm gonna listen to it because, like I said, I want to be able to formulate an opinion that's not based off of what I've been getting from the surface and from his features. Even in one song, I could. This is probably the first and last time I'll ever say I was excited to listen to a Lil Yachty song. Ooh. Exactly. Joe said in that interview that he had a track called Peekaboo and it was hard. He was like, Peekaboo was hard as fuck. And I was like, what the fuck is Peekaboo? You just said Lil Yachty had a hard record.
Joe Budden said Lil Yachty.
Right. Joe Budden said something was hard. Let me go see what the hell it is he's talking about. And
you got me pulling up Apple Music.
Peekaboo was just Lil Yachty on Amigos beat. It was his song.
Yeah, but on Amigos.
But and if you haven't heard Peekaboo, again, just imagine Lil Yachty on Amigos record. Except it's his record and he has all creative control.
To be fair, if you get Amigos record, or if you get a Metro Boomin
it's
instrumental, it's hard to mess up. So some people have done it, but it's very hard to mess up.
All you got to do is adapt the quote unquote Migos flow, and you'll be straight.
That's it, bro. And there's tutorials on how to do this on YouTube.
This was a guy that adapted the Migos flow for the record, and it was trash. It was so bad. It was so bad, Nitty.
Oh my God. I can't say I'm completely surprised.
And trust me, when you hear it, you're gonna be like, wow.
But here's the thing. It's back to like this record. I know it's not meant for me. Music is so subjective. Snoop put this into perspective for me. I want to say it was the Source Awards. I don't remember. He was talking about the younger generation and cats shitting on him, basically. And he said, man, when I came out, they didn't understand me either. Even though I argue Snoop was kind of a different example. But he was basically like, yo, this is what this music thing is for. It's to be inclusive.
Exactly.
It's to let everybody in. It's not to keep cats out. And that really kind of made me look at Lil Yachty a different way. Once Uncle Snoop kind of gives somebody the pass, I'm like, this guy's okay.
Even though he told Soulja Boy to eat a dick.
Yes.
So maybe.
No, he said Soulja Man could eat a dick.
Exactly.
Soulja Man.
Soulja Man, right, exactly.
Hey.
You know, I want to drop this disclaimer. And not in a sense to save face, but just, you know, since we are in the era of let's be mad at whatever the hell the flavor of the month is.
Everybody's angry.
This episode isn't to shit on Lil Yachty, even
Absolutely
if we did
not.
or we didn't. The fact that Lil Yachty is kind of seen as the face of the new generation, it's easier to pinpoint one artist and talk about the things that he's doing because every artist like him is doing the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Like, even though 21 Savage is a completely different rapper than what Lil Yachty is, and I'm talking about as far as the quality of his music. They're a completely different rapper, but he's in the exact same lane. He's in the lane of the mumble rappers. He's in the lane of the what the fuck are you talking about rappers. He's in the lane of was that really your bar rappers. You know what I mean?
And to add on to that, we're not crapping on Yachty. You know what? I think we've been very good to Yachty.
I've said some shit about Yachty.
A lot of good shit about Yachty, right? But to add on to that, Yachty is the cat we're talking about. So to your point, that shows you kind of the respect and the attention that cats have on Yachty.
Exactly.
Because we're not talking about Lil Uzi Vert. We're really not talking about 21 Savage. We're talking about Lil Yachty.
And yeah, exactly. Because here's the thing. If it was legit old nigga anger, it would be cats calling for Yachty to get out of the industry.
They would have did Yachty like
Loki Yachty did.
They
Ja.
bashed out. Oh, I was gonna say Iggy Azalea, but yeah, Ja
Well,
Rule
boom,
was
you know
a
what?
good one.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. We're gonna keep it this generation for people that saw it happen. It would be like how they did Iggy, how they did Macklemore.
Played out right in front of your very eyes.
That's not how people are trying to do Yachty. They're like, you have the success, you have the eyes on you. We're saying you now have hip hop in your hand. To every hip hop artist, whether mainstream, underground, just like writing for the fuck of it, hip hop is their baby. You have my baby in your hand. Do my baby right. Is all that everybody is saying.
That's all it is.
So Yachty would be the main focus, I guess you could say.
Let me play devil's advocate here.
All right.
Are we perhaps being too hard on the new generation? You keep in mind, our generation has some trash.
Yeah.
Our generation definitely has some trash. I'll say this, though. I think our trash was a bit more filtered. Like, for example, we had garbage, but we also did a lot of recycling. Right?
Oh, man.
We didn't just throw trash everywhere. Our trash still went through somewhat of a filter to get to listeners. Whereas nowadays, that filter, it plays in some situations, but in a lot of cases, cats can just completely bypass that.
Right, go right around it.
If they got the movement, the energy, the Twitter followers, and they can be on.
Right, exactly.
Like that. So it's a lot of extra stuff sneaking in the game that would have not had that opportunity in, say, the early 2000s.
Exactly. And Joe said it best. He's like, the majors, they don't care, they don't know, nor do they care about what niggas say in their hip hop records. The only thing they see is, wait, he had 1 million followers before I signed him?
That's it. That's it.
You know what I'm saying? That's all they care about.
That's it. That's all.
And that's really what we truly want these new artists to understand. That you are just a number. You are doing fantastic. You are doing amazing. Lil Yachty, kudos to you, sir.
Absolutely,
because you snuck
bro.
into the game and you made this game yours.
I salute you.
Hats off to you for that one, straight up. But they need to understand that as soon as people stop giving a fuck about you, because hip hop fans are the most short-term memory, shiny red ball fans there is in music.
Yes.
As soon as they stop thinking about you, that's it. Your label's gonna drop you. You're gonna be like every other top industry artist that's now a mixtape artist,
and they'll turn on you on a dime.
On a dime,
bro. If things go the wrong way, they will turn on you on a dime. Let's not forget. I know we're kind of removed from this situation, but I'm gonna go back in time a little bit. Throwback Thursday.
Right.
Let's not forget that Meek Mill had the #1 rap record prior to the beef that he had with Drake. But once that beef was initiated,
He was the king of L's.
the king of L's.
All of a sudden, Meek never could rap.
Exactly.
Meek's always been,
all of a sudden, Meek was garbage.
Cassidy ate him up and all this other stuff.
Exactly. But the month before this, I don't know if it was
Everybody had Dream Chasers too.
You feel me? Do you remember when I remember years ago, bro, he dropped, what was it? Was it Dream Chasers or Dreams and Nightmares? I remember he broke the most download record on that Piff. Meek was the dude.
Dream Chasers 2.
Dream Chasers 2. Meek
It
was
was either Dream Chasers 2 or Dream Chasers 1.
I think it was Dream Chasers 1.
Oh, I think it was 2, because if you go to that, when you go to the Dat Piff website, I think the first thing you saw was his face with a 2 in front of it. I think it was Dream Chasers 2, bro.
Okay, you could be right.
It may have been Dream Chasers 2.
Point being, though,
Correct if we're wrong.
please hop in the comments and let me know. Point being, Meek was the guy.
Exactly.
You feel me? And it's not that he had like this whopping amount of commercial success, but don't act like Meek wasn't catching W's in the hip hop community, bro.
Yeah.
And then, hey.
He spoke on the wrong nigga.
Exactly. He said the wrong shit. Even if it was true, said the wrong shit at the wrong time.
Right.
And he's been the king of L's ever since.
Ever since.
Meek Mill's caught more L's than Wiz Khalifa at this point, bro.
And they said that L's were sexually transmitted because they said, you know what? This is something I do want to touch on.
Okay.
Because even though the situation's in the past now, the fact that it's still going on, I'm going to touch on this and then we're going to wrap up.
Are you bringing up Nicki?
I'm going to bring up Nicki.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Everybody said, oh, that track was whack. Oh, that track was dumb.
Which one are we talking about?
This is No Frauds.
Yeah.
You had to go get Wayne and you had to go get Drake to get a single to clap back at Remy.
Yeah.
I said on this show, I said, y'all keep saying that. Keep saying that all day. Nicki is taking the Drake approach. Nicki is taking the approach that Meek should have did originally. Nicki's taking the approach that Remy tried to do but kind of failed. Nicki made a single that no matter what I say in this record, you could think it's as trash as possible. Remy can't go nowhere without hearing No Frauds.
Truth.
No Frauds is on the radio. No Frauds is a single to an album that's not coming out.
I will say this, though. I don't think that Remy, I don't know. I just don't get the feeling that Remy is in her emotions when No Frauds comes on.
She's not in her, I don't think she's in her emotions about this beef in general. I honestly, I think they both forgot about it at this point.
I think so. Like
I know we for sure did. That's why I had to I'm bringing it up now, like 7 episodes later.
Okay, the only thing I didn't like about No Frauds, Nicki made the chess move. She made the single. She pulled the Drake move straight out the 6 God playbook. My only thing though is if Remy's saying that you need Drake and Wayne to kind of make music or respond, and then in your response you get Drake and Wayne. I get that you did your Nicki thing and you kind of did whatever the hell you wanted to do, and you had the single and the video and it was playing, but dang, it makes her kind of right.
No, it makes her very right.
You know what I mean?
I said when she put out Sheether, you know, even though I think Sheether wasn't necessarily a diss record, I think it was more so she was airing out laundry and we were all ear hustlers to it. You know what I'm saying? We were listening in.
Yeah.
But she made very valid points. She didn't, you know, Nicki really didn't start buzzing until
You really think Ebro smacked that?
If he did,
it was early in her career.
Yeah, I think it was when she was really trying to get radio play. Because Ebro's been at Hot 97 since Hot 97 was Hot 97.
This is true.
So it's like, if he did, she was just trying to make it. That's the only thing that makes sense. I don't, you know, Ebro isn't one of the people that you necessarily hear girls really running after.
True, but I could see it playing out though because Ebro does have juice.
Yeah, he's the program director. That's all the juice that you
that's
truly need. He's a program director and he's a show host. That's how much power he has.
At that point, you're basically St. Peter. Like,
at the end of the day,
you got the key to the gate. If you want to come in, what you willing to
come through? Exactly. What you trying to do to get this key?
Before we move off hip hop, I gotta speak on this. I know you haven't heard it, but I gotta touch on it. I would feel bad and regret it if I didn't. Logic just dropped his project Everybody.
Yesterday. Well, the 5th.
Yes. I rock with Logic in a long way.
One of the hardest new niggas out, definitely.
Absolutely. When we talk about new artists and new acts, Logic makes me proud, my boy. I'll say this though. Everybody left me disappointed. And I know you haven't listened to it. I don't want to start forcing opinions on you. But here's my thing, though. If I go back, Everybody. Okay, before this, it was Bobby Tarantino, Slapper. Okay, before that, it was the Incredible Album. Loved it. Before that, it was Under Pressure. Loved it.
Favorite one out of all of them. Under Pressure was slept on.
I'm not lying to you. When I play this Everybody, I'm not gonna lie. I'll play like 3-4 songs, and then I break to one of Logic old projects to give me a breather to go back and
to remind yourself who he once was.
Yes, and I dig the Logic has always been peace, love, positivity. Nothing's changed. The execution wasn't there. The message was there. The way he executed it was not there. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't even rock with it until the last 3 songs. I think it's 14 to 16 tracks on here, a couple skits. But there's no mystique behind it, right? If I have Jay Alonzo here, he filmed me on this, that as a movie watcher, when I check out a film, I hate exposition.
Right.
I don't want you to be telling me everything. Have some faith in my intelligence to figure out what I'm watching.
Exactly. Don't just throw it in my face like, by the way, he's going to get killed.
Thank you. I don't need to know that. You know what? If you want me to know that, show me.
Right.
Don't tell me. Show, don't tell.
Right.
To me, Logic was not his train of thought making this project. It was a lot of straight up telling, as sometimes talking, not even rapping, just talking. He's got the longest fucking skit on there. It's like 4 or 5 minutes long with Neil Tyson. And I get the concept. Everybody is everybody. Races are like a construct. They're a social construct. We're all one people. Love each other. And there's some beautiful ideas on there. Like when you do something wrong to somebody else, since everybody's everybody, when you do something wrong to somebody else, you wrong yourself. When you do good to someone, you do good upon yourself, right?
I would enjoy that in the track.
in a track, right? But when he does give it to you while he's rapping, it's so direct. There's no real like metaphors or mystique behind it. It's Logic with Logic's flow. Logic has a dope flow. It's like he basically wrote a bunch of stuff that he feels and then rapped it, but really didn't dress it up. He's like, my flow's gonna get me through, even though the words aren't really that creative. I'll be all right. I get that push.
You know what it probably was? He was probably trying to make that sell. He realized that today, and again, I haven't heard it, so I can't make too much of an opinion on it. But if it is how you're putting it, he was trying to make that sell. He knows that a lot of things in hip hop goes over this generation's head. A lot of things in hip hop, you know, if you have, and I've heard this directly from somebody. If I have to dive into the lyrics, if I have to go to Rap Genius, then the song is trash to me.
I've heard people say that before.
I've heard that shit before. So he knows that the listeners have gotten lazy.
To me, that's like how we used to test out in high school. We had to test out on a proficiency test for reading comprehension. I feel like the casual music listener does not have proper listening comprehension.
Right.
They're playing a song and they want to know if it bumps, if they can easily digest what's being said. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to have to go to Rap Genius on every track. But you giving me a little bit of complexity.
Right.
I appreciate, because I can appreciate the craft of it. I appreciate Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly because there are subtleties in it. Kendrick doesn't tell me everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I go back, I catch different pieces. I say, oh, okay, I didn't catch that the first time.
I didn't get that time. Okay.
It makes me admire it more.
Right.
I don't really know that I'm going to go back and play Logic's album and find out anything that I did not know before. And that's really true. And I rock with Logic. I really do. So I'm kind of upset that I say this, but if I told you anything different, I wouldn't be keeping it 100.
That was just a sample of what's to come with the nitty gritty.
I'm not just going to be crapping on the news. I promise you. I'm really not. That's not the scenario.
If he likes something, you will know that he likes it. Just understand and know that for sure. Nitty, bro, this has been so refreshing. We've been talking hip hop for years, dude. You know, to have people basically be, you know, the third party outside listening in. This was fun.
Man, I'm glad to. Maybe we got to do this again, bro.
Of course, you already know
I
you
got
got
a
to come
special
back.
coach, man. Even when Kevin comes back, man, I got to come do a special
You got
episode,
to, bro.
man.
You got to, man.
When Lil Yachty drops his next joint,
I will be back.
we gonna be back for another one.
Tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
Man, check me out on Twitter, Nitty Official. Check me out on SoundCloud, Nitty Official, UTC Entertainment, IG Nitty Official. Stream me on Apple Music or Spotify or Pandora or Google Music, whatever.
He's
you're
on everything,
bro. I'm on everything.
Make sure you look out for White Lies and Blue Dreams.
Please,
Of course.
Please look out for it. And, man, keep supporting Beats Network, man, because these cats up here are working. When I tell you that I'm honored for the boy to bring me down here and help him work on this, man, I mean it in a real way, because cats are dedicated, cats are committed, and cats are bringing you content on a regular. They're putting their all into this. And we just some cats trying to make it happen out the basement, man.
That's all we're trying to do. At Big Los UTC. You can find me on Facebook, of course. Follow the Beat Network Instagram page. Follow the Beat Network at BEAT, all caps, _network on Twitter. Facebook.com/Beat Network 1. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like us on iTunes, rate us on the Facebook page, do everything you got to do. Leave a comment, do the whole 9. Of course, you've listened to the show, so you know how we normally end it. As always, we appreciate you guys for listening in. As always, we appreciate you guys' participation. And as always, it's Big Los.
Nitty G.
It's the Noize.